Hello and welcome. You're with Bruce again, and I'm here in Llandudno in Cape Town, South Africa, with a very good friend of mine, Chris. Chris, thank you so much for letting me use your house to film this and for giving us your time.
You're welcome.
And why I'm here with you is because you've done some pretty amazing things, and you were telling me an amazing story about your bike shop and how you got your bike shop. And I thought it would make a great story to tell our viewers, because this story that Chris is going to tell you illustrates beautifully about what's possible when you really set your mind on a target. Yeah. Illustrates what's possible when you really set your mind on a goal or a target, and then takes a massive action to make those things happen. And Chris is the kind of guy who takes enormous amounts of action. So Chris, you were telling me about your bike shop and how you were running this bike shop from home, and you'd always wanted a premises for your bike shop, and you sent somebody out scouting for your bike shop. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you were doing and what happened next?
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen a movie like The Secret and the Law of Attraction. I never knew anything about it. But I sent a scout out looking for a bike shop. We wanted a small bike shop because all my life I'd worked selling from home. And for a couple of months they came back with various things that didn't really appeal to me. And then one day this guy that worked for me came home, and he said, "I found this enormous shop. It's massive. It's just what we want. It's on a main road." And he said it'd be fantastic. The only thing is, it's going to be far more money than we could ever afford. So nevertheless, I went to have a look at it anyway. And when I saw it, I thought, definitely. And
was it just an empty shop?
It was an empty shop. It was a bank closure, so it was all boarded up with boards. And it was £250,000. This was about 15 years ago. And the only amount of money that I could raise on a mortgage and a bond was about 125. But nevertheless, I thought I wanted to see inside it. So I contacted the estate agent, and he came and showed me inside it, and I thought, I've just got to have it. So I went home and I thought, well, how's this going to happen? Because I just didn't have the money. I couldn't borrow the money from anywhere else but the bank. They would only allow me half the amount that I needed. So I persisted with my thoughts, and I thought, no, I'm going to have it, and I don't know how. So I contacted the estate agent again and said, could I have another look? And maybe a little bit underhandedly, when he showed me, he actually gave me the key and said, well, look, go and have a look yourself and bring me the key back the next day.
So you went to see the place on your own.
On my own, he gave me the key. So I just couldn't face giving him the key back. You know, I went into the shop with the key. I envisaged where my bikes were going to be, where my desk was going to be, where my staff were going to sit.
Visualised the whole thing.
The safe, the lot. And I couldn't bear to give him the key back. So I had a key copied, and then I gave him that back. So then I went every day to this shop, which was all boarded up, with the spare key and opening it, and spent time in there. And then I started to delude myself that it was actually my shop. And I actually slowly but surely started to move my stock into the back of it, just to see how it would look.
So you took real motorcycles and put them in this boarded up shop that you'd copied a key to that didn't belong to you, and the owner didn't know you were there.
You've got it. Just to see what it looked like. And I thought, I'm just going to have this shop. Now, because I'd moved some bikes there, my wife was taking inquiries at home for people who wanted to buy motorbikes, but some of these bikes were now in this shop. So the customers started coming to the shop. And as they came to the shop, it was all boarded up. So they'd come in through the back. And that looked sort of kind of suspicious. So after this went on for 2 or 3 days, we'd sold 1 or 2 bikes, but a couple of people didn't buy because it was boarded up. I decided to set the boards down. And this is on a very busy main road in Hampshire in the UK. As I did that, there's people walking in, they're looking at the bikes. There's a guy asked for a job. I employed him as a salesman. Another guy as a salesman. I went full blown. We connected the electricity up. We had the 4 lines, phone system, coffee machine, T-shirts, all the stock moved there, adverts, everything.
So now you've got a full-on bike shop filled with bikes, staff, T-shirts,
everything.
Telephones, everything.
The only thing I didn't do is I didn't put my name above the thing. It still had the old name from the previous company that went bankrupt.
Which was a bike shop as well?
Which was a car garage, a Nissan car garage.
Okay.
So we carried on like this for a few weeks, stalling the estate agent. The estate agent would call and I'd say, it's all approved, the bond and the mortgage is going through. And we progressed at such a pace. We sold so many bikes. We made so much money. I couldn't afford to put in a security system, so I slept on the floor in one of the upstairs offices every night for 2 months. until one day, one of the banks that owned the building actually took a long way around to his work and went past the shop. And when he saw this shop, instead of being boarded up as a full-blown motorcycle shop, he contacted the estate agent and said, I didn't think we sold this, we've got no records sold. And he said, no, it's in the process of going through, but it's not sold. Well, it's a full-blown motorcycle shop now. So then he called me.
The estate agent goes...
The estate agent went, please tell me you've not put motorcycles and opened a business with this, because you haven't even got a key. How is this possible? I said I had a key cut. I said the bank has approved it. We raced.
Had the bank approved it?
Not at that point. The bank hadn't approved it at all. But what we did is, with the 2 months that we had there, and we worked like demons, we took our latest books down to the bank, who were offering me a £125,000 bond, said, this is what we've made in 2 months in this premises. Please increase the offer. They gave me in 2 days a piece of paper saying that, yes, they were going to approve the bond for £250,000.
Which is what you needed.
Which is what I needed, which is what I sent to the estate agent. And I said, please don't take action against me, because he was saying what I did was illegal. Which it was. Yes. And I sent them the facts from the bank saying it was now approved. And it turned out that they actually